So in this ultrasonic testing, we need to discuss some basic terms of physics which are related to this ultrasound, or we can say propagation of ultrasound. So first objective of ultrasonic testing. So first objective of UT is obtaining the information related to discontinuities. Discontinuities and defects are two different terms. Keep in mind. A discontinuity which affects the performance of component, it is called as defect. But if there is a change in microstructure or the material homogeneity, then it can be called as discontinuity. Whether that discontinuity is affected on the material or component performance, then it is called as a defect. Second objective, disclosing the nature of discontinuities without impairing the usefulness of part. In the second objective, the last few words are very important. Without impairing the usefulness of part. Means in this case, component is safe. Its usefulness is not disturbed. So without disturbing its usefulness, we are disclosing the nature of discontinuities. This is the objective of second objective of ultrasonic testing. Separating the acceptable and unacceptable materials in accordance with predetermined standards. So as I said earlier, discontinuities and defects are different. Presence of discontinuities may not harm the usefulness as well as performance of component. Means that component is acceptable. If the presence of discontinuity affects the performance of component, then that component is unacceptable for further we can say further step. So separating acceptable and unacceptable material is also another objective of ultrasonic testing. These predetermined standards are different for different components. It depends on performance criteria. Suppose one just supporting structure is there and it contains minor porosity, and if that minor porosity doesn't affect that support or that supporting structure, then that component is acceptable one. But if you consider the casing of blower and suppose there is a blowholes inside the casing material, then that casing is not acceptable. So that criteria is depends on again the industry, norms of industry, performance of component, and so on. So this is all about the objective of ultrasonic testing. Uses of UT methods. We already discussed these uses, but again we repeat here. Flaw detection and evaluation, leak detection, whether there is a crack presented in the component or not, and evaluation of that crack, means the location of crack from upper surface or lower surface, it can be determined with the help of UT method. Leak detection, it is related to the different pressure vessels, cylindrical barrels, gas tankers. We can check leak or presence of leak with the help of UT methods. dimensional measurement. So thickness of component, thickness of any coating which is on the component, or we can say on the job. So this dimensional measurement can be done with the help of UT methods. Structure and microstructure characterization. In the UT method, velocity of ultrasound is depends on material. According to type, we need to select velocity of ultrasound. So as per as the velocity of ultrasound, selection of velocity of ultrasound is depends on nature of material. We can correlate structure and microstructure of the material with each other. Then estimation of mechanical and physical properties. This is some secondary part, secondary use we can say. With the help of the response from the material, we correlate that material or nature of material with mechanical and physical properties of the same material. So these are the some uses of UT method. Means this can be achieved by UT method. So let us discuss few useful terms of physics which are related to ultrasound. So if you see here, this is the plate. This dotted line represent path of ultrasound. This red portion indicates the sound which travels along this dotted line. So these are the three terms which plays a very vital role in ultrasonic testing. First one is frequency, next one wavelength, and then velocity of ultrasound. These three are very important. This frequency, velocity and wavelength is responsible for propagation of ultrasound in any component. Amplitude, that is relative energy, it is nothing but the intensity of ultrasound, and it can be measured in dB. Unit is dB. So again it depends on nature of material. So these three are very important: frequency, velocity and wavelength. These three are responsible for propagation of sound wave in the material. So what is frequency? So frequency is the rate at which the sound source and the material vibrates. See dear friends, ultrasound pulse. Ultrasound is nothing but one type of vibration. So at whether that if suppose the material is means suppose vibration is transferred through this material, means molecule or whatever particles are there in the material, it get vibrates at its mean position and it transfer its energy to the adjacent molecule, and then propagation of sound wave happens. So the propagation of sound wave from one end to another end is nothing but the propagation of vibration. And the rate of propagation is nothing but frequency. The unit of frequency is hertz, and it nothing but cycle per second. These sound waves passes in the material in the form of waves. It may be a longitudinal wave, it may be a transverse wave, it may be a surface wave, relic wave, different types of wave propagations are there. So how much cycles are propagated within a constant time, we can say a second, then it is called as a frequency. Means cycles per second, it is nothing but frequency, and also call it as hertz. So if we see the range of frequency, so as far as this range is concerned, 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz, or we can say 20 kilohertz, this range can be heard by the normal human being. So it is hearable sound as far as the ability of human is concerned. But in case of ultrasonic diagnosis, we used range from 2 megahertz to 20 megahertz. Above 20 kilohertz, human cannot hear this sound wave. So above 20 kilohertz, the sound it call it as ultrasound. And again, from this range, we use 2 megahertz to 20 megahertz range for ultrasonic diagnosis. So this image shows a very clear interpretation, or we can say comparison of sound. So look here, below 20 hertz it is infrasonic. 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz it is acoustic, means it can be heard by a normal human being. Above 20 kilohertz it can be called it as ultrasonic sound. Again, ultrasonic sound is divided as per the frequency, means 20 kilohertz to 25 kilohertz it is used in animal and chemical research or chemical diagnosis. 1 megahertz to 2 megahertz or 1.5 megahertz it is used in medical sector or in destructive nature of analysis. Means if you see the sonography of any pregnant woman, or we can say any human being, then the ultrasound used in that case, which has 1 megahertz frequency to 1.5 megahertz frequency. So about 2 megahertz to 20 megahertz, this range of frequency is used in diagnosis and NDE, that is non-destructive evaluation or examination. So with the help of this image, it is very clear that from 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz it is hearable by the human being. Above 20 kilohertz it is ultrasound, so it cannot be heard by any human being. So about 2 megahertz to 20 megahertz, this is the range of frequency that can be used in ultrasonic diagnosis of mechanical component. So see this, or remember this term frequency. It is very useful term while evaluation of any component with the help of ultrasonic method, because it plays very important role. Selection of frequency is very important, because propagation of sound wave is totally depends on frequency and nature of material. So frequency is one of the term which is very responsible, or it is very important related to the evaluation. See this figure. On x-axis time is plotted. On y-axis, amplitude. It is percentage amplitude. So first figure shows low frequency. It means that cycle per second in a constant time are very less. If you consider second diagram, cycle per seconds are somewhat more than the first diagram, and time is constant again. So for constant time, if you see the third image or third diagram, the cycle per seconds are very high as compared to the previous two. So we can say this is low frequency, this is medium frequency, and this is high frequency range or wave. So consider the first image has 2 Hertz frequency and say wavelength is lambda. In second case, approximately the frequency is 3 Hertz and the wavelength reduced to lambda by 2. Here again, for third diagram, frequency is 6 Hertz because cycle per seconds are more than the previous two, and wavelength is reduced to lambda by 4. So here it is seen that frequency is increasing and the wavelength is decreasing mode. Wavelength is in decreasing mode. So we can say that higher the frequency, lower the wavelength. Means frequency and wavelength are inversely proportional to each other. So from this figure, it is very clear that if you choose higher frequency, propagation is faster, somewhat faster, and here propagation is somewhat slower. So this is all about the relationship between frequency and wavelength. This frequency can also affect the capability of inspection in an adverse way. So it is very important that how the inspector is selecting the optimal inspection frequency to balance the favorable and unfavorable results. Because the sensitivity of method of or UT method is again depends on the frequency. Okay, move towards the another slide. Second term, velocity. So the ultrasound velocity is used to determine the depth location of flaw in the material. And see, this velocity is characteristic of material. It is not characteristic of sound. So selection of velocity is totally depends on nature of material. So while selecting the while inspection or while evaluating any component, you must know type of material of that component. So see here, this is the formula of velocity of ultrasound. So if you concentrate on this formula, it is V is equal to E upon, or it is stiffness upon density. So rho is density of material It is a density of material. E is the factor related to elastic property or stiffness of material again. So we can say that V is the property or is the term which is totally depends on material properties. So as per as the nature of property, we need to select velocity of ultrasound. So keep in mind, velocity of ultrasound is characteristic of material. It is not characteristic of sound. See, next term, that is wavelength. If you see this diagram, it is a only distance. Wavelength, it is nothing but the distance from one location of waveform to the another same location of waveform within the constant period of time. So it is a only distance, and it can be evaluated by this mathematical equation. So lambda is the means the wavelength can be denoted by lambda, and lambda is equal to V upon F. V means velocity of ultrasound, F means frequency of ultrasound. So wavelength, it is a distance sound travel during the period of one vibration is known as one wavelength, and it is denoted by lambda. Although wavelength is not a unique property of given ultrasound pulse, it is of some significance because it determines the size of the ultrasound pulse. See here, it gives us size of ultrasonic pulse. So it is important term as far as the frequency of sound is concerned, and this wavelength is totally depends on V and F, that is velocity of sound and frequency of sound. Next terms, sensitivity and resolution. These are very important terms as far as the results of these UT methods are concerned, because resolution and sensitivity gives us ability of technique. What is the ability? Is that method gives us right indication or not? It totally depends on sensitivity and resolution of that particular method. This term is related to all type of methods. It is not concerned with only UT, but it is totally related to all kind of NDT methods. So what is sensitivity? It is nothing but the ability to locate small discontinuities. What it exactly means? Suppose this is a plate and this is a probe. Suppose this is a probe, and there are two discontinuities very near to each other. Sound is transmitted from the transducer, again it receives by the transducer, again here it receives by the transducer. So there are two discontinuities very near to each other. So suppose this is the screen of machine, This is time. This is amplitude. This is the initial pulse which is come across the interface of transducer and material. As there are two echoes or two discontinuities, suppose these discontinuities are denoted here with the help of two different echoes, then we can say that this method or this instrument can detect two different discontinuities which are located very near to each other. So we can say that this method or this instrument has better sensitivity. But suppose these two indications are shown by single echo or single response on the machine, then we can say that this instrument has lower sensitivity. Means sensitivity is the ability to locate small discontinuities which are very near to each other. It is sensitivity. So sensitivity generally increases with higher frequency. So keep in mind, sensitivity is increases with higher frequency. Next term, resolution. So resolution is the ability of system to locate discontinuity that are close together within the material or located near the part surface. So this resolution and sensitivity goes parallel to each other. Suppose discontinuities are very small in size. If your system, if your method detect that smaller defect, then your system is very sensitive to the defect. And if your system detect two discontinuities which are present in very near to each other, then we can say that your system has better resolution. So these two terms are very parallel to each other and plays a very vital role in the UT evaluation. Again here resolution generally increases with the increase in frequency. So as frequency increases, resolution also increases. So sensitivity and resolution are directly proportional to the frequency we can see. So as frequency increases, sound tends to scatter. Remember, this is somewhat controversial. As frequency increases, sound tends to scatter from large or coarse grain. So sound tends to scatter from large or coarse grain structure and from small imperfection within the material. It is too much controversial. As we increase the frequency, scattering of sound waves is more. So we need to select the appropriate frequency while inspection. So cast material often have coarse grain and thus require lower frequencies to be used for evaluation. Means for casting, we need to select lower frequency probe for inspection. As far as the rod component or forged products are concerned, it has refined grain structure. So we need to select a higher frequency probe for inspection of forged product as well as wrought product, because it has finer grain structure. Okay. So let us discuss about the principle of ultrasonic inspection. So ultrasonic testing uses high frequency sound waves, typically in the range between 0.5 to 20 megahertz, and it is used to conduct examination and make measurements. So ultrasonic testing uses high frequency sound waves to conduct examination and make measurements. Besides its wide use in engineering application such as flaw detection, evaluation, dimensional measurement, material characterization, ultrasonic are also used in medical field, as you know, such in sonography and the treatment of non-therapeutic cells. It is used, but in general, ultrasonic testing has two types, and it is based on capture and quantification of reflected waves. First type has pulse echo philosophy, and second method has through transmission philosophy. So first is pulse echo method and another is through transmission method. So this ultrasonic inspection uses several functional units such as pulsar, receiver or transducer, display device, or we can say instrument screen. In this image, it is very clear that this is the probe, this is the connector. Probe is nothing but transducer. Probe itself consists pulsar and receiver. Transducer is nothing but it is a device which converts electrical energy into mechanical response and vice versa. So this is transducer, this is connector, this is device display, this is the component to be inspected. So as we already seen in overview of ultrasonic inspection, the sound is transmitted from transducer and it get reflected from the entities which can be extreme end or flaws or defect. Again it received by the transducer, it is synchronized in the instrument and it shows responses or we can say indications. So indications have two types, means relevant indications and irrelevant indications. The relevant indication means it is related to defect. Irrelevant indications means it is related to the edge, back wall and the existing extensions from the component. So these are the two responses recorded in the machine screen. So first echo is from crack, which is developed from crack. The another echo is developed from the reflected sound wave from back wall, or we can say exterior end of or extreme end of component. So knowing with velocity of wave and travel time can be directly related to the distance that signal travels. So from this signal information, we get location, size and orientation of flaws which is presented inside the component. So what is pulsar receiver? It is an electronic device that can produce high voltage electrical pulse. Driven by pulsar, the transducer generates high frequency ultrasonic energy. Means this transducer is responsible to convert this high voltage electric pulse into ultrasonic sound waves, and again vice versa. The sound which is reflected from the entities which receives by the transducer, it converted into electric pulse and again it sends back to the device. So the ultrasound or sound energy introduced and propagates through the material in the form of wave. When there is a discontinuity such as crack in the wave path, part of energy will reflected back from the flaw surface, and the reflected wave signal is transformed into an electrical signal by transducer, as already said, and is displayed on the screen. This is the principle behind ultrasonic inspection. So see this video, it is very well explainable regarding the principle of ultrasound or ultrasonic inspection. So basic principle behind ultrasonic inspection is propagation and reflection of sound wave. Suppose this is a workpiece and it has a particular arrangement of atom within the material. So when a rigid stop is placed on the other hand and one plate which transmits the waves which is placed on the another side, it creates the vibration and the particle get vibrated and it transfer the energy to the adjacent particle. It get reaches to the another end, it get reflected again and it receives by the again transmitter. When there is a free end, same things are happen in the material. Particle get vibrates, it transfers the energy get reflected and again receives by the transmitted. So suppose transmitter emits sound, it travels within the material as far as the velocity of that waves are concerned. It get again received by the material. See this actual component with defective part or defective cavity. So as transmitter transmit energy, total energy received by the transmitter. When the transmitter is placed on the cavity, part of energy is reflected from the cavity and part of energy reflected from the back wall. Suppose the transmitter is placed exactly on the cavity, total energy get reflected from the cavity and it get reflected and received by the transmitter. So this is the philosophy in the ultrasonic inspection. Let us see the nature of device display. So this is monitor display. On y-axis intensity or amplitude, x-axis time. So this is initial pulse and this is back wall echo. Means the transmitter is placed on the surface and below that surface no defect is there. So these two echoes are seen over the screen. This is initial echo which comes from the interface of material and probe, and the back wall echo which comes from the extreme end of component. And suppose when the transducer is placed on the defect, then the screen shows that two different echoes. So see here, defect echo as well as the back wall echo. It means that part of energy it get reflected from the defect and part of energy is get reflected from the back wall. So see here, the probe is placed exactly on defect, slightly on defect. So some amount of energy get reflected from the back wall echo and some amount of energy is get reflected from the defect. So these two responses are recorded on the screen. Suppose it is on the defect, transducer on the defect, then only single back wall echo is recorded on the screen. If you see actual inspection of cylindrical component, it needs the probe, component, couplant. So couplant is one of the component, or we can say element, which is responsible to transmit the sound energy from probe to inside the component. So this is the component and the probe. So no echo on the monitor because there is a smaller gap in between the component and transducer. So if you place a couplant on the component, it is very easy to transmit and transfer the sound wave into the component. So here device shows responses as per as the sound wave propagation are there. So this is the cylinder which has defects at a particular location. So this echo shows that back wall echo, whether there is no defect. So if you move the probe towards the forward direction, so we get the location of defect. So scanning is going on. Monitor gives a single. So we'll see here. This is the so this echo shows that location of defect, means below that probe defect is present. If you move further, there are another echo. So see, at this location two different echoes at two different places are shown. So it means that there are two different echoes presented in that location. But if you see, actually this is the pseudo, or we can say ghost echo. This is the response from defect, and this is irrelevant response, because below that probe only one defect is present and the device shows two different echoes. So if you cut out the component, here is no defect, only back wall echo. If you move the transducer, single defect is there, single location or single response from the machine. If you move towards the another defect, the first echo shows the actual response of defect and the another echo is nothing but the irrelevant response. So this is all about the principle of ultrasonic testing.